indicators often are the end results. When you realize that a single week is the equivalent of a month in a 12-week year, the need to track lead and lag measures is apparent. A week lost is a month lost. Track your numbers. Step 1 is to develop a set of key measures that are a mix of lead and lag indicators. An example of a good mix of lead and lag measures for a sales goal might be referrals, lead, inquiries, lead, sales in dollars, lag, units sold, lag, and units ordered, lag. Lead and lag measures are important, but don't get carried away with too many metrics. Pick just the top one or two of each for you to track. If you want to lose weight, a great indicator might be the number of hours that you exercise each week. A great lag indicator might be waist size or pounds lost. By tracking these indicators, you can determine each week if you are on track to hit or miss your goals. Capture the lead and lag measures for each of your goals below. Goal 1, lead measures. Early measures of progress. Lag measures, late measures of progress. Same for goal 2 and goal 3 as well. We recommend that you track lead and lag numbers weekly and make them visible in a place that you and your team, if you have one, see them often. Many of our clients use whiteboards to do this. Figure 5.1 shows a sample whiteboard. Weekly execution scores and lead measures. Weekly score is so and so. Average score. Weekly openers to date. Okay, execution scores and lead measures. Okay. Goal 1. This is lag measure. Goal 1, 500, 380. Okay. PTD dollars. Goal $1 and PTD. An example of recording lead and lag numbers. At the top of the example, the weekly execution score and a lead indicator opening meetings with prospects are tracked. At the bottom of the board, a lag measure, closed sales measured in dollars are tracked. By tracking these numbers, you know where you are every week. So this is opening meetings with prospects and these are closed ones. Okay. So since there is 0, this, I think it's a cumulative then. Okay. Step 2 is to track how well you execute your tactics each week. In addition to your other key measures, it's critical that you also measure your execution effectiveness. Establishing a metric that allows you to know each week how well you executed your tactics is essential. This is because you have more control over your actions than you do over your outcomes. Your 12-week outcomes are created by your daily and weekly actions. To determine your weekly execution score, calculate the percentage of tactics that were due in a given week that were completed. If you have 10 tactics due and you executed 8 of them, your score is 80% for that week. Success tip. We have found that if you accomplish an average of 80% or more of your weekly tactics over the 12-week year, then in most cases you will reach your goal. Step 3 is to pay attention. Each week, take some time to review your metrics. Are there any performance breakdowns? Are you making good progress on your lead indicators? Are your lag indicators on pace to hit your 12-week goals? What do you need to do to keep up the momentum or to get back on track? Success tip. Keep track on your average weekly score and update it weekly. If you are scoring well, 80% or higher on average, and your lead and lag metrics are not where they should be, change your plan. If you are not scoring well, don't change your plan. Instead, determine what's keeping you from working your plan and completing your tactics. Once you have determined your metrics and are tracking them weekly, here are some tips to make your metrics work for you. Review your weekly score and your results. Lead and lag indicators. in your weekly accountability meetings. Commit to make progress each week. Maybe you can't get from 45% to 80% in 1 week, but you can move from 45% to 55%. Remember that a score of less than 80% isn't necessarily bad. A score of 65% might be an improvement in activity from the past 12 weeks. It just means that you are not operating at your best and that the probability of you hitting your goals is less than if you were executing at or above 80%. Don't be afraid to confront what your numbers are telling you. If you are unwilling to confront reality, then you will never be able to change it. The 4 weekly execution scenarios. If you score your execution each week and you track your weekly leads and lag metrics for each of your goals, the 12-week year provides you with everything that you need to get better each week. Your weekly number will create one of 4 different scoring scenarios. Weekly scores, lead and lag measurement. Scenario 1. You execute 80% or more of your tactics, that is plus, and your lead and lag metrics are on track plus to hit your 12-week goal. Scenario 2. You execute less than 80% of your tactics and your lead and lag metrics are not on track, that is negative, to hit your 12-week goal. So your lead and lag measurement is negative while your overall score is less than 80%. Scenario 3. You execute 80% or more of your tactics and your lead and lag metrics are not on track to hit your 12-week goal. So that will be just the opposite with positive under the weekly tactics and lead and lag measurement are in the negative. Scenario 4. You execute less than 80% of your tactics and your lead and lag metrics are on track to hit your 12-week goal. So this clearly shows that what tactics will reflect may not be similar to what the lag or lead indicators are reflecting. So accordingly, we'll have to measure and check. Measurement allows you to stay on track and focus on your most important activities each day of your 12-week year. Each of the scenarios above require you to take different actions to maximize the likelihood of hitting your 12-week goals. The following section provide more details about each scenario. Scenario 1, which is positive and positive, that is positive on the weekly plan and also on the lead and lag indicators. You are executing the tactics in your plan 80% and your plan tactics are working. Your lead and lags are on pace to hit your goal. This is a scenario you want every week. If you are in this situation in week 12, it means that you have hit your goals and have had a great 12 weeks. When you are scoring well and are on track to hit your 12-week goal, the actions for the upcoming week are simply to keep executing. It is important to not get complacent in this scenario. Sometimes you can start to coast when things are going well. You get comfortable, take your foot off the gas, and your momentum stops. It is harder to get back up to speed after you slow down than it is to keep up a steady productive pace. Scenario 2, which is both negative. This scenario can be frustrating and even bit demoralizing. You had the best of intention, yet you just are not executing the tactics as well at the level you planned. That drives the results you are shooting for. Often the first inclination in this scenario is to change your plan, but that is wrong answer. You don't know if your plan works yet because you are not working on the plan. The second common temptation in this scenario is to abandon your plan and the 12-week year with it, because after all, you weren't doing so badly before. This is the worst approach. It is the only action that will guarantee your failure to hit your 12-week goal. Instead, review the performance breakdown and what to do about it. The focus here is on your tactical execution. Once you ID the tactic or tactics that are not executing or avoiding, recommit to executing these tactics this week and to score 80%. Here are some questions that may help. Are there one or two tactics that you are avoiding? Do you keep your written weekly plan with you all the time, and do you check in with it several times each day? Do you plan each day at the beginning of the day? If tactics are not done each day, do you stay or go home? What are you doing rather than working your plan? Scenario 3. If you are executing at 80% of your plan or more, but not moving your lead and lag measures at the pace needed to hit your 12-week goals, you are in an excellent position to get better results quickly. The hard part of the weekly execution process is usually scoring well on your tactics. To score well most often requires work and willingness to be uncomfortable. Your weekly score shows that you are willing to work your plan, but your plan isn't working here. If you are not inflating your score, your lead metrics have had sufficient time to respond, and you are not consistently avoiding a specific tactics. The required action is to modify your plan so that when you execute it going forward, it delivers the results that you are expecting. Perhaps you need to increase activity, perhaps you need to refine your technique so that your process is more productive. Add tactics to work on your sales talk, change up your workout, carve out more time for coaching, and so on. Yes, Sunita, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, I have a question. Should I ask right now or later?
You can ask.
Okay, so my question is related to the part wherein the uh, matrix says that you are not meeting your lead and lag, right? So as I understood it, the lead and lag measures, what we are saying is that is for the 12-week year plan at the end. So do we break it down by week also? Supposingly, I'm saying that my goal is, my lag measure is that I am going to uh, get, okay, say 1 lakh sales per month or 1 lakh business per in that year by the end of my 12-week year plan. So now that 1 lakh has to be broken down into that by first week, I should be doing this much.
Yeah, that can be a way because, of course, you are tracking on a holistic level only. So it is actually the lag indicator will be for the 12-week period only. But the way they are telling is, yes, I feel that, they are wanting us to break it down further to, for us to make an analysis whether the lag and lead indicators are also met.
Right. That then only you will be able to score
Yes.
it. No,
Yes.
what I understand about it, 80% progress can be scored, but the league and lag indicators, unless and until you are breaking it down, you will not be able to see score it whether you are reaching that target or not.
I think as far as lead indicators are, you will be able to go basis the weekly tactics only. So that will
Right.
run parallel. But the lag indicator, yes, that we'll have to break it down for that week also. Yes. Yeah. So we'll go further.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So the 12-week year is a learning system, and as adults, we learn by iteration, trial and error. You set a 12-week goal, you build a plan that you thought would work, and you execute it. Your results are less than what you need, so back to the plan you go. If you change your plan, one or two things will happen. Your changes will bear fruit and you will begin making sufficient progress on your goal, or you still are not seeing sufficient progress on your lead and lags. If you are making sufficient progress, great. If not, keep tweaking your plan until it delivers. This requires a willingness to work through the problem, but if you don't give up, you will reach a breakthrough moment. The only failure is giving up. So, scenario 4. This is an unusual situation. You aren't working your plan unless you are being too hard on yourself when you score, but you are still hitting your goals. Generally, there is one of three reasons for this outcome. The first is you got lucky. Something happened and all or most of your results just fell in your lap. Maybe you closed the deals of a lifetime. Maybe someone just showed up and bought all of your inventory. Maybe the market is up. In any event, we recommend that you either raise your goal to reflect the lucky event or mentally take it out of your results so that you are still executing your plan. While luck is great and feels good, it's not a process, and if you rely on it, you're taking a huge risk of future failure. The second reason that this scenario can happen is that your plan is much more difficult than necessary to hit your 12-week goal. But executing it at less than 80% is enough to hit your goal. In this case, we recommend that you adjust your plan to make it more in line with what it takes to hit your goal so that you don't run the risk of becoming demoralized. The third common reason that scenario 4 arises is that you don't believe in your plan at all and you are doing something else entirely that is driving your results. In this case, we recommend that you replace the tactics in your plan with your new tactics. In this way, you set yourself up to be even more successful because a written plan is more productive than a plan between your ears, and you can keep tweaking your plan to make it more effective. Great week after great week, the weekly execution routine. Now that we have worked through process control and scorekeeping, as promised earlier, we will explain what we call the weekly execution routine, or WER. The WER is a three-step process that combines elements of process control and scorekeeping, and that is applied and fully engaged with almost guarantee that you will hit your 12-week goal. Your 12-week year plan schedules your tactics to come due a given week, not in a given day. I'll read it again. Your 12-week year plan schedules your tactics to come due a given week, not in a given day. This is because it generally does not matter if you get a tactic done on a Friday instead of a Tuesday. Rather, the problem arises when you let tactics slip from one week to the next. If that happens too much, you simply are setting yourself up to fail. That's why the week is the crucible for execution in the 12-week year. The WER keeps you on track and moving toward your goals every week. Step 1. Score last week. At the end of each week or first thing Monday morning, score your week's execution and update your lead and lag metrics for each of your goals to reflect your results. It's best to do this before you begin the new week. Scoring will help you to prepare for the weekly accountability meeting. See step 3 below and to assess areas to focus on in the upcoming week. Maybe there was a breakdown to fix, maybe there was a success to celebrate, maybe you need to catch up, maybe you need to score better this week, maybe you just need to keep going. Scoring is sometimes a challenge because it's hard to confront performance breakdowns. But remember that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Scoring not only supports effective execution, it also lets you focus on what's working and what needs to be improved. A tip here is to prepare a summary of your results so that you are ready to be efficient with your time in the WAM. Another suggestion is to identify successes from the previous week. Step 2. Write down or print your weekly plan. Once you have completed scoring the previous week, it's time to create your new plan for the current week. If you are using our online tool on Achieve, you will score your previous week and print your plan for the coming week. If you are using the paper system, you will create a weekly plan derived from your 12-week plan and include all the tactics due this week plus any undone tactics from last week that must be made up in the current week to hit your 12-week goals. If you have weekly commitments, you will include those in your weekly plan as well. Step 3. Attend a WAM. Bring your plan and scores to the WAM and be prepared to report out as the CEO of your business and your life. Be sure to include success, lessons learned, scores, and what is in your plan this week. If you need to execute better this week, let your WAM partners know exactly what you are committed to doing this week to get back on track. If you had any commitments that you made in last week's WAM, be sure to update the group on your progress. These three steps of the weekly execution routine are simple and easy. However, it is even simpler and easier not to do them. Commit to applying each of these tools every week this 12-week year, and you will be amazed at the result. The WER helps you to execute your plan consistently each week of the 12-week year. For an even deeper dive into your weekly execution, review section 12 of this field guide. Okay. So, anyone would like to read for using your time intentionally? Chapter 6.
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah.
Using your time intentionally. What if you were consistently able to get more of the important things done in your life and in your business every day? What would be different? Where could you be 3 months from now, 3 years from now? Performance time, our unique time blocking system, will help you to allocate time to what matters most. Within just 1 week of applying the concepts, you will begin to see results and you may feel more in control of your time than you have in years. Performance time is one of the 5 disciplines of the 12-week year. Combined with the other four, vision, planning, process control, and scorekeeping, it is part of a proven execution system. Everything that we achieve in life happens in the context of time. The important thing we get done when we spend time on them. The important things will get done when we spend time on them. One of the building blocks of success in the ability is the ability to spend time on what matters most. Yet, we often hear our clients say something like, I don't have time for the strategic, I'm just too busy. Consciously, they're thinking, I want to do what I know is important, but their actions are saying, my time is controlled by others and by outside events. People who are unwilling to change their actions will struggle to achieve their visions. I'll read that again. People who are unwilling to change their actions will struggle to achieve their visions. Constructive belief number one. Your time is at least as valuable as the time of others. Given the value and the limited supply of time, it is interesting that almost all of us have difficulty spending it as effectively as we would like to. Many entrepreneurial clients we work with, driven by the natural desire to earn revenue whenever the opportunity arises, will discard their pre planned schedule without a second thought to accommodate the request of prospects and clients. They do this repeatedly, seemingly without regard to the long term impact on their business. In effect, the time that could be spent building their future is instead spent on building someone else's. We see similar behavior with our other clients as well, letting emergent opportunities or the request of the others pull them away from their pre planned activity. In the final analysis, many of our clients value the time of others above their own. To achieve breakthrough, you must come to see your own time as at least as important as that of your clients. Only in this way you can, and only this way can you build your business and ironically improve your client service at the same time. Constructive belief number two. You can't get everything done. One of the things that get in the way of effective execution is the belief that we can get it all done. If we assume that if we work fast enough, hard enough, or long enough, we can do everything, then we are not required to prioritize our activity. Unfortunately, this is just not true. A recent study found that the average professional in America has more than 40 hours of unfinished work on his or her desk at any given time. That means that no matter how hard we work, we will never get it all done. Unless we realize the simple truth that we can't do it all, we will continue to labor under the false belief that we will eventually catch up and finally get to that important stuff. We will continue to use all of our time on urgent day to day activities and postpone the strategic but less urgent work required to create a business breakthrough and ultimately the life we desire. Constructive belief number three. Work on the high priority money making results generating activity first. You can change the future by what you do right now. If you frequently defer your strategic work to accomplish the urgent but lower value activities, you will need a way to carve out time each week to work on your highest priority activity. If you work under the belief that you can eventually get the important things done by first working through the urgent, you will likely never get to the strategic stuff. The thinking that says, I will start building my ideal future tomorrow or next week or next month is flawed. The future you're going to live in is the one you are creating right now, this very moment. Constructive belief number 4. Breakthrough requires break out from your old systems. If you are in control of your time, then you are in control of your results. Reaching breakthrough isn't about being incremental. Breakthrough requires a profound change in the way that you work before it shows up in your results. For some, breakthrough results may mean a 20% increase in income or getting that promotion. For others, it may mean doubling their business. For still others, breakthrough may be taking more time off and continuing to increase their revenue. In each case, creating a breakthrough will require them to be willing to change how they spend their time. These kind of performance increases may sound inspiring, and yet, if you are already nearing the capacity of your current systems, you may honestly feel that there just isn't enough time in the week for breakthrough. Our clients often view higher performance levels as possible for others but not possible for themselves. Many times they feel that they are already working too hard and the thought of working harder to earn more is unattractive. They may even have a real fear of success, the fear that says, my current system cannot handle the level of activity that will come with greater success. Okay, if it feels like common sense to us that we have to work proportionally harder to earn more. Yet, the kind of thinking is exactly what limits what we can accomplish in life. Constructive action. Create a model worksheet and implement it. The good news is that our clients earning 1 lakh per year don't work 10 times harder than clients earning 1 lakh. Okay, 10 lakh and 1 lakh. In fact, sometimes they are working less. How is that possible? You probably know or have heard of others who have overcome the breakthrough barrier of their own systems and thinking. They have solved the time issue. They have found a new way of working that increases their capacity to get the important things done. Unfortunately, there is a big difference between knowing that someone else can do it and actually changing how we manage our time each day. The fact is that you won't reach a breakthrough if you don't change what you're currently doing with your time. To get different results, you will have to do things differently and do different things. After we take the important first step and make the commitment to spend our time on the important stuff, we next must know how to do it. Anytime we start to take new actions, it is helpful if we can visualize what the new actions look like. In the case of time allocation, we will have to create a picture of what the new time allocation looks like. We will have to create some version of a model work week. Performance time is the breakthrough time blocking system we have developed working with our clients. It allows you to operate like the CEO of your business and life by being intentional about how you spend your most valuable asset, your time. The commitment and ability to apply performance times is a manifestation of personal leadership. If you live with if you live with the intentionality of effective time use, you will become a more effective leader of those around you and you will build your business and personal success at a faster rate. There are three components that comprise a model work week: strategic blocks, breakout blocks, and buffer blocks. Each of these three time blocks is designed to help you accomplish key activities more effectively. In addition to these three categories, you will also want to schedule blocks of time to execute additional important recurring activities. Let's take a closer look at each type of block. Anyone wants to read from here?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did it.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Strategic blocks. Strategic blocks are 3-hour blocks of time scheduled at least once a week. To be effective, strategic blocks should be conducted in one 3-hour block rather than 3 1-hour blocks and should be free from interruptions, such as making or answering phone calls, answering knocks on your door, or responding to emails. An effective strategic block is focused on your most important activities that require uninterrupted time. A typical agenda in a strategic block might be to review your progress in the 12-week year, identify any performance breakdowns and their causes, and determine strategies to address the breakdowns. Or 2, work on key plan targets. We have found that strategic blocks are one of the top 3 contributors to success in applying the 12-week year effectively. Your strategic block should be scheduled early in the week so that if it gets interrupted or cancelled, you have time to reschedule it. It should also be scheduled during times when your work activity is typically lowest. Jot down some strategically important things that you might do in your strategic plan. Don't forget your strategic tactics from your 12-week plan. Strategic block activities. Buffer block. Buffer block are 30 to 60 minutes in length and are scheduled once or twice a day, generally at the same time each day. They are designed to help you get all the urgent but less important stuff done more effectively and efficiently. The actual amount of time for buffer blocks will depend upon the amount of email, phone calls, interruptions, and other administrative you typically are required to handle. In these blocks of time, you will respond to emails, conduct short meetings, and answer your voicemail. In fact, we recommend that you put a message on your system that says something like, I am not available right now, but I typically return calls between 11 and 12. So please leave a message. I'll get back to you. Buffer blocks allow you to be more productive with the administrative tasks and to free your more important time from interruptions that lower your productivity. Take a few minutes and think through the low value actions that are part of your work that might be included in your buffer blocks. We list down your buffer block activities. Breakout blocks are those 3 hours in are also 3 hours in length. They are scheduled within your normal work week and are like a mini vacation. In a breakout block, you get out of the office to do something that you enjoy. The only rule is that you don't do or discuss work. You may leave at noon on Thursday and call. You may take your spouse on a long lunch. You may see a movie. It's up to you. A breakout block is a chance for you to recharge and refresh and to come back to work energized. They are an important part of managing stress and maintaining a balance at work. One word of caution though, get the other aspects of the normal work week in place first. No one that we know has made it to the next level just by scheduling breakouts. We recommend that you only have one per month until everything else is working and you are executing well. Take a minute to capture some activities that would help you get away and recharge. To implement performance time using the planned weekly calendar template below, Build an ideal week by scheduling the strategic blocks, buffer blocks, and breakout blocks where you would ideally like them. This is your motivator. How you choose to use your time has a direct impact on your results, both professionally and personally. Everything happens in the context of time. And if you are not in control of your time, then you are not in control of the results. Take back control of your time. Decide to apply performance time and achieve breakthrough in your business and life. Below, you will find the blank model workbook table for you to schedule the performance time blocks and your other regular freestanding events. Pencil in your block, beginning with your strategic blocks, next moving to your buffer block, and then ending with your performance. Then fill in the other important activities that need to happen each week. Be sure to leave white space in your calendar and to include time for executing your tactics that are not included in your strategic plan. See the sample model weekly time blocking template in figure 6.1 found below the model. Okay, so you can design that template. So this time, like all times, is a very good one. If we but know what to do with it. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Notice that the BAM and the time to score and print the weekly plan are included on Monday. It is important to score and plan after 1 minute ends and before the next meetings. Also note the 5 minutes at the beginning of each day to check in on their vision and plan the day. It also helps to schedule your strategic block at a time of the week when you typically have the least activity or interruptions. When you schedule your strategic block earlier in the week, if it gets interrupted, you can reschedule it in the same way. Consistency from day to day is also good. Routine and patterns allow for easier coordination with others in your team. Common pitfalls. Does anyone want to take it?
Yeah, I can take from here. Common pitfalls. Do your best to avoid these 4 common pitfalls. Pitfall 1, not being willing to change. The biggest obstacle our clients face in being more effective with their time is that they are just not willing to change. Over two-thirds of those attending our live event workshops say they want to use their time more effectively. Yet, a significant percentage of these same people will not do anything differently. Structuring your time differently creates a considerable amount of discomfort. That is not necessarily good or bad. Change is uncomfortable. That's just the way it is. Get over it. If you want things you don't currently have, you will have to do things you are not currently doing. If you want to perform at your best, you will need to be more effective with how you use your time. Pitfall 2, finding reasons why it won't work. In every workshop I conduct, there are always a number of people who will passionately tell me why the time blocking concept won't work for them. They have convinced themselves that it won't work before they have even tried the concept. That is like deciding that you don't like a particular food without ever having tasted it. Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Pitfall 3, not sticking with it. Changing the way that you use your time is difficult and sometimes painful. Don't make the mistake of quitting before you have mastered the concept. Developing new habits and routines takes time. Everything in your being will want to revert back to what is familiar and comfortable. Stick with it. Take ownership and make the concepts work for you. Make a commitment to apply the system. Pitfall 4. Compromising the time blocks. As people begin time blocking, the tendency is to revert back to the old familiar ways. And so they will often compromise their blocks, especially the strategic block. Don't do it. Keep your strategic block. Please come down, Maniselvi. Maniselvi or Mansi. So keep your strategic block sacred. Use it only for strategic activity and don't schedule over it. In the rare event where an emergency arises that forces you to abandon your strategic block, reschedule it. Get it back on the calendar for later that day or later that week. I think chapter completed.
Okay, thanks. We'll stop here for today.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can discuss on any things that you have understood well, and if anything resonated or any points you want to put forth based on your experience with your plan. Please go ahead.
Yeah, as I read now, so don't compromise with the your time blocking periods. So when you schedule something, particularly strategic block, so unless and until it is an emergency, so don't compromise for any impulsive, some pleasure, some impulse at the moment. So don't ever compromise. So in my day-to-day life, that is what I'm doing. So although I have planned my schedule, doing my activities as part of my goal. So I'll compromise for the things like watching some entertainment or any kind of thing. So that I want to change. So yeah, so as author mentioned here, this strategic consider this as a sacred, this strategic schedule block. So I'll agree with this completely. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
So for me, he has reiterated again that the strategic block should be a 3-hour block and once a week. So this is something that is because the way I had planned it, there was 1 hour each day kind of a thing. Now this is where I need to go and rethink my plan.
My doubt is if you schedule strategic block once in a week, matlab 1 day in a week, so 1 day in a week means 12 in 12 weeks, 12 days. So in 12 times in a 12-week plan, so we are going to schedule this strategic block. So 12 days in a 12 year and one strategic block is 3 into 12, 12 3 is 36 hours in a 12-week year plan. So I think it will be very less to achieve your goals. So how it will be working out? So that is my doubt.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think three hours per day or in a day, I think practically it might not work. Second is we'll have to split that into the strategic tactics that we have. So strategic block has to include the strategic tactics basically. So whatever our goals tactics are, the main tactics have to come there. Buffer block will have those tactics which are routine kind of. That is, if you have certain calls to make, you can club it in the buffer block, because buffer block is basically for those activities where you have a set routine activities where you can accommodate these additional tactics which you have, but those are not strategic. Right? And what I feel is, other than strategic, we'll have our regular work any which ways. So strategic may not be possibly to be done in a 3-hour block for each week in 1 day each week. I think for me, I have split it over days. That is how
Yes,
I have made it, because that makes sense to me and it seems to work, because every day I'm having some strategic activities which I'm having to comply with. So that I accordingly have split. If you remember the example that I had shown earlier.
yeah, that is, I'm also doing like that only.
Hmm.
So every day I'll schedule the whatever as part of the strategic block. So strategic activities I have scheduled. So in 7 days in a week, every day sometime I have scheduled.
Hmm.
It may be more than 3 hours also. Yeah,
Hmm. So maybe
and
you will have to also take maybe one day in a week to reflect. That's what even part of the strategic block activities says, that you have to reflect on your weekly plan, right? So that reflection time also you can build into this strategic. You have to build, that is, take this reflection or review of your plan every week on a weekly basis. One day you allocate for that time for that as well in the strategic block.
Right. So, so the tactic can also be part of the strategic plan, right? So,
Yeah,
supposing
that
my
is
tactic
that
is
is
yoga or
yes.
or walk, so that is part of that strategy.
Yes, the earlier book was not so very clear, but this book very clearly puts it. And I had assumed it, that all strategic tactics will go into the strategic block, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Because strategic block is something which you focus, and there is no calls, no deviation, no distraction, that you actually focus on the task which is going to give you the result. So that is the nature of strategic block. Buffer block will be routine work, which is kind of monotonous and which you will have to do. So you place all email answering at one time and calls at one time if possible, or at multiple times in a day, maybe as breaks from your regular work or from the strategic block, and then do it. So that made sense for me, and then that's how it seemed to work. Yeah, so they have also said that breakthrough blocks have to be done, but then breakout blocks, but that can be done after the initial plan gets settled and you are settled into the plan, and then that can be covered. Yeah, so I think we have to just focus on these scenarios that were discussed, where weekly score and the lead lag measurement may match, or where there is a mismatch rather. So that is an indicator that something has to be looked into. The plan has to be either reworked, or the plan has to be more focus has to give on execution. So these two points came out from this discussion, that you have to then do a course correction, or you have to just focus more on complying with the plan, right? So based on the scenario that you are in, we'll have to take the correct type of steps to come out of that situation. So that was one most important thing I felt today. And again, scoring and writing them and keeping a track is very important. I sometimes fail to do that. I just complete the task, go ahead, but overall reflection sometimes I miss doing. So this score giving, that is score keeping, and also recording it is very, very important. Yeah, which we'll have to do. Then yes, the perspective of time, all these beliefs are very, very important. Your time is at least as valuable as the time of others. So yes, I've seen professional life where we tend to give times to our clients, our seniors, and the office work more as a priority than the personal. So personal stuff goes at the back, and your working day becomes longer. Second thing, you can't get everything done. Yes, we have to accept that we can't do everything. So just focus on what is important priority wise. But that focus cannot purely be goal based. It is also more as from a responsibility level. Like if you're a manager, or if you are a say senior partner, then you have some certain things as part of your role which you'll have to do, even if that is not a priority for you right now. But that has to be there as part of your work goals. So that cannot be done away with. So what can be done away with, we'll have to just let go, because any which ways we are not going to fully do all the tasks that we want to do. Work on the high priority money making result generating activity first, because this will fund, or this will actually help us to actually get the results. So we have to focus more on activities which actually will get us results and what are really important, rather than what we want to do at that moment. Breakthroughs require breakout from your old system. This is very important to note, because as I told you that initially when you step into this 12-week year, you will take time to adjust to your rhythm of life right now, what you have versus what this plan requires. It might require your more, cutting off some of the things that you're already doing, or maybe readjusting those timings, what you're already doing. Maybe also understand your energy levels when they are at best, and then reschedule it. So this might require a bit of rescheduling, this might require a bit of change, and this might also require a bit of conscious decision making, that no more of this and no more of this. So this might be challenging, but yes, if we actually take the consistent effort, we will able to break through it. Create a model work week and implement it. Yes, once you actually see a slice of the week, only then you can understand how the 12-week will work, and what are the weekly different separate tactics that one has to do. Maybe not consistently in all weeks, but in certain weeks. So that also has to be planned. So this is nothing but more efficient planning, considering the short term, and also the goal is short term. So which is aligned to a long-term vision. So this is one ticks of the alignment that we need to have with the long term. This also aligns with the practical realities of a 12-week, which we have more of an understanding, and the circumstances we are aware that what can happen in these 3 months versus what can happen in the 12-month. So that's the reason we need to create a model week and work on it for the blocks that have been suggested. So as I had shared earlier also, we have to go take up certain rules, but we'll have to maybe adjust the rules here and there to accommodate our specific goals and our schedules. So that's what I had done when I had shared the initial my model week plan with you all. And of course, that was something which I had superimposed certain other information, but that was basically the structure that I'm following. So any questions or anything you all want to share? If not, then we can call it a day. It's already 3:15. Yeah.
Maniselvi, actually, my day-to-day activities, so quickly, distracted to, watching movies or watching some funny videos, like, उसको बहुत अच्छा लगता है वो सब देखने में. I enjoy more by watching, comedy videos, comedy movies, or different kind of some entertainment. So उसका है ना, I guess unknowingly, else I end up with spending a lot of time on watching all those entertainment videos. So my sidetrack हो जाता हूँ. So इसको कैसा organize, how can I organize all those things so that it will not become obstruction to my um, daily goal as part of the activities of to achieving my goal, or whatever I have scheduled as per the model work week. So any ideas? Yeah.
Okay, so for what seems to work for me is one. Now I'm taking this call. I'll isolate myself, get into a room, lock the door, kind of thing, so that no disturbance is there. So even if I want to see anything, the mobile is a bit away, just to take up calls. So it creates a no distraction zone. So if possible, you create that zone kind of it for you. So don't keep anything which is that sit in a room with the TV, or anything gadgets which are handy for you. So go into a zone where it's distraction free. If that is not possible, if everything has to be done, then you'll have to consciously keep on reminding yourself that 5 minutes and उसके बाद नहीं देखना है. So you'll have to actually trip that habit of yours from occurring again, right? And it will take time, because if you are have to let go the habit first, then create a discipline. See, consistency is one where we try that we want to be 100% consistent, but that practically never happens. So we have to understand that one. Second is distractions will come, but we'll have to create a mechanism where we don't get distracted. And sometimes we should allow distractions also. Like, it's okay. Now, अभी एक घंटा waste कर दिया, तो next घंटा you have to use it more wisely. When can I compensate for that? Because all this is part of life. You
So,
keep
do you watch
facing.
movies, Manisalvi?
Yeah, I watch movies, but rarely, I would say.
Rarely do you watch movies.
Yeah, I bit choosy now to watch only certain movies, not everything what comes in, kind of. So
Okay.
that is one. Second, I don't go out and watch movies in theaters. It's
Yeah,
it's
nowadays
much
nobody is
more rare.
watching all,
No,
we
but
have.
some movies are really worth watching only in theaters.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so especially musicals and those big sceneries, those are really good to see there. But I don't. So basically, to tell you very frankly, when we start working on some things, we'll have to say no to a lot of other things if you really want to get results in a short period of time.
What about Mansi? Is Mansi available? Hi,
Yes, yes,
Mansi.
I'm there.
What about you? Do you watch movies, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts,
Yes,
all these
lot,
kind of
lot of them.
all under
Yes, I
lengthy?
do. I do watch all of them. Most of my work happens on phone, or
Okay.
like iPad only. Like laptop is like these days now that phone and iPad are so handy that mostly everything happens on them. So I hardly take laptop. So most of the time it's happens like what you shared also, na, like sometimes when I want to do one thing, it's a habit like that become that many times we go like into something else only. Like take the phone to type a message, but then I'll keep reading some other messages or something, and then time passes. So that happens with me too. So what I also want to highlight, na, Krishna, for your query. So what I would say that we read about becoming intentional today, right? So it's all about becoming intentional. So for example, like if you know, like in your this as we read about the strategic plan or buffer plan, apart from these times, so as if you're doing and following through these times, you can give yourself liberty to watch it, or you can keep them as your rewards, or you can keep it like first you do that, and once you're done with the work that you want to do that is aligned with your 12-year goal, it's okay to watch these things, or you can just postpone it, as Manish we also said, na, you can postpone it to some other time as a reward. Like when I do this, I will watch a movie. When I do this, I will watch this. I will give myself permission to watch this time, or as they have given that other time slot, right? Breakout time. So this can be a part of your breakout time. So now what will this 12-week year, what you can do, you can make it as a strategy or as a part of your plan. And also, if you are aware of the Atomic Habit book, if you have read it, in that also, like, make small increments. So become more intentional and work on this habit. So that will help you, because everything has a cost. So and we are not realizing it now maybe, but sometimes it has a bigger cost, sometimes it has a lesser cost, but we are eventually paying the cost. So just analyze things and be aware of what is this habit costing you. Or if you're watching something, if you're spending time watching reels or whatever, see how you can be strategic about it, like how you can have watch, like for example, if there are some podcasts that are in alignment with your 12-year goals, or how can you shift from what you're watching to what you should be watching, that will also help you. So be a little creative around it is what I would suggest, because that's how
And
I do it most of the time. So there is no guilt factor as such,
yeah,
but
no,
it is more intentional at times. So that is how I do it. So I am just suggesting.
and thinking like this, schedule a day like this. So first schedule some strategic activity. So pose after that. So schedule some, breakout block, like, watching some entertainment. So
Yeah. And
intentionally,
what you
consciously
can
do
do,
that.
like in your strategic or that buffer blocks, na, you can just put your phone aside completely. Like
Yes, yes,
how
yes.
they take out our phones when we enter some MNCs or some big companies or some big places. They have this, right, where they ask us to put the phone in the lockers or things like that, or give it to someone, or just keep it in a locker. Something you have to do something intentionally, because you are aware that okay, agar मैंने ये नहीं किया, then there is a chance of me slipping through and wasting my time. So right now, as you go through the 12-week plan, maybe we, like, not just you, maybe each one of us will have to do some like for me, so I'm telling my example. So in my case, I'm wanting to like I want to work on my fitness, and I want to lose weight. So but I decide ki, okay, I'll go for a walk, I'll do this, but sometimes I just slip off. I don't do that most of the time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add accountability. So I'm going to join some gym or swimming or something like that. So that is my tactic or strategy, or so that, because I'm very serious, so I'm going to add some accountability. So you can add some account. You can tell your wife is the best person to be an accountability partner for phone or things like that. So you can ask her to remind you or something. Just think
Mm.
out of the box, I would say. Do
Okay.
something different than what we are usually doing to change the pattern. Is my like ideas about
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And one thing, if see if it helps. Actually, I set almost five alarms in a day. So in between, this alarm will ring, and then I check what am I doing, and be mindful for that moment as to what am I doing, what should I have been doing, and what is next. So it's more like taking a stop in between to check. So
Yeah.
if that
Bringing back
helps
up
for,
to the consciously, bringing back.
yeah, bringing back to consciously to
Yeah.
the present what you are doing. So see if that helps, because for me, I have reduced my phone usage tremendously because of this. I've actually reduced lot of distraction because of this. If you say my goals are meeting, yes, I am struggling with those, but still, at least I give priority to certain things, I would say. So my prioritization has improved. Goal achieving, I am not very sure, but yes, it's working better right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
This
Okay,
alarm
then.
concept also good. So every three hours like that. So we can put alarm. So every at that ringing time, so we can check ourselves whether are we doing the things mindfully, consciously.
Yes,
So are we
because
on
it
the
can
right
be a
track?
reminder as to again bring back the focus to the plan, whether the plan is being done or not.
Yeah.
Second is, if you are in between something, then you take a conscious call. I'm doing something else which I should not be doing. I'll do it later. So that just means makes you more aware of the situation in hand. And if you do it when you are actually feeling lazy in times of day, you will feel lazy, or you will feel bit watching those things at those specific times, then you can put alarms for those specific times, right? So accordingly you can
Yes,
check
yes.
so that it helps you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. See
Thank
everyone
you.
So
on Monday.
next we'll be
Happy
meeting on
weekend.
Monday. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Bye.
now
Bye.
we'll finish the book,
Happy
na,
weekend.
Manisha ji? I think it's just
Most
two more.
likely we will finish on Monday, if not Tuesday, because there is more of tables and charts that we have to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Yeah,
So
and
that,
I mean, so I'm saying like in the first half of next week, we will be mostly done with the book. I'm
yes,
saying.
yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. Cool, cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank
Take
you
care.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye all. Thank you everyone.
Mm.